right, well, welcome everyone to our program spotlight series for the electrical and computer engineering. My name is Courtney. I am one of the enrollment coordinators in the graduate college, and today we have with us Dr. McKinney and Dr. Davila-Montero. They're going to help explain some more about the programs, answer any questions that you guys have, and hopefully give us some more insight about their programs. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead and take over screen share.
Great, thank you. 1 second here. There we go. Okay, so allow me to introduce myself. I am Dr. Mark McKinney. I'm the head of the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department, and I'm joined by Dr. Davila-Montero, and I will let her introduce herself real quick.
I'm an assistant professor. Here, have been here for 2.5 years now.
So, So I'm excited to get the chance to talk a little bit about our CTP program and our MSEE program. We use a bunch of acronyms, and CTP is a college transfer program. You'll hear it called a bunch of different names. You'll hear it called the 2+2 program or the evening program, and I'll probably use those somewhat interchangeably. Quick overview of what we're going to do. The main thing is for everyone to get an understanding of the opportunities that are here at the Citadel in both of these programs. I'm going to talk a little bit about engineering at the Citadel. I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Davila-Montero and let her talk a little bit about some of the things that you're going to study. And then we'll talk a little bit about what resources are available, and then we'll have some time for some questions and answers as well. So, quick history here. A lot of people don't realize that the Citadel was founded essentially as an engineering school after the West Point model, making it the 5th oldest engineering school in the nation. So we've got a very rich history of engineering education here at the Citadel. Electrical engineering in particular was formed out of the physics department after the school had been here for about 100 years. And computer engineering has always been component of electrical engineering, but it was brought out as a fully separate degree just a few years ago. And that is a fully accredited, completely separate degree program that we do offer as part of our CTP program. We also have some exciting things going on with our facilities. We've got a new engineering building coming soon. This is our existing space right now, and we're going to expand out to all of this space here, and that will house all of the engineering departments. That'll happen over the next really about 5 years. So it'll be a really exciting time here at the Citadel. The Citadel and engineering are both very highly ranked. If you look at the Citadel's website, you'll see a lot of the stuff about the #1 best regional university in the South, best public university in the South, #5 best value. #1 school for veterans as well. But one of the things that we're very proud of is that the engineering school is number 18 nationwide, and that's out of 286 schools. Now, these are schools that have up to master's degrees, but it is for an undergraduate engineering degree, you're not going to do a whole lot better than here. About 20% of all Citadel students study engineering. Of the 3 different departments, mechanical, electrical, and civil construction environmental. Electrical and computer is the smallest of those, but that has some advantages to it as well. And it's a field that has near 100% employment within the first 6 months of graduation. Nearly all of our students that are actively looking for jobs find jobs after graduation. So that's another highlight of the program. So okay, so this is our faculty. Again, we're a fairly small department. This is our newest faculty member right here, who is coming this summer, Dr. Shaylee Yagnick. And you will get to know all of your professors very, very well. And that's one of the advantages of being at a school this size, is that we have a very personal one-on-one relationship, and we're all very dedicated to the undergraduate teaching experience. Okay, so I am going to hand this over to Dr. Davila-Montero now, and let her talk to some of this. And you just tell me when to move on to slides, and I'll jump in when I need to.
Okay. I will. So what are you going to be studying? The idea is that you're going to take half of the classes that you are supposed to take in order to complete your electrical or computer engineering degree somewhere else. So these classes are going to be your English classes, your math, your chemistry, biology, physics. And most of these classes, or right, all of them, they can be taken anywhere. Now, most of these ones, so things like the math classes, some of the sciences, general education classes, that includes the English and right, your math, your chemistry, biology, physics, social science, humanities. We are now offering them also during the summer. We're also offering now the circuits sequence. So these are the first two classes that are the beginning of your concentration in electrical or computer engineering. So circuits 1 and 2, we're now offering that over the summer together with the lab that goes with it. And we're planning on adding more classes to it. So this is how the electrical engineering sequence will look like for your first 2 years. Again, which you can take anywhere. If you are a veteran student, you can take these classes during the day with the with our cadet, so in the cadet program. And then so you can go to the next one. You see the difference now with the computer engineering programs. So they're very different, very similar. The only difference is those green highlighted classes. So you're going to be taking discrete math and then an additional computer science class, which the electrical engineering students don't take.
So, and
Is there
I'll jump.
anything else you would like to add? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Most of our students come from, the low country area, and we've got a fairly robust transfer agreement with Trident Technical College that really applies to almost any of the technical colleges here in the state of South Carolina. Um, and we've got if you go to our website, you'll see there's a pretty well defined, these classes count for these classes, these classes count for these classes, and their advisors kind of know the courses that you need to take, and they've got kind of a predefined route through this. And a couple of other little things that I would like to point out is that when you take these classes anywhere, you basically just have to get something that comes in as English 101 and something that comes in as Calculus 1. Your GPA resets when you get here. So it really is a great opportunity also. You will end up with a degree from the Citadel, but your GPA is based just upon the courses that you take while you're here at the Citadel. So the rest just come in as transfer classes. You have to make C's or better in them. But if you are, say, a first generation student or somebody who is a non-traditional student coming back to school after being away from school for a long time, you can take the time to get caught up and get all those classes until, and figure out how to incorporate this back into your life. And then after showing you can do it there, you come here and everything sort of resets. And we've had a lot of students be really successful doing that as well. And I'd like to pick up on one other thing that was mentioned, and that is that, and we'll talk about this in a slide here in a minute, that these classes are in the evening, and that's why I said it's sometimes called the evening program. Veteran students are the one exception to that. Veteran students have the ability to take classes. They sort of have the best of both worlds. So if you're a veteran and you're interested in doing this, you can really kind of mix and match where and when you take your courses. So, all right. So, was this me or you?
You.
Okay, I couldn't remember how we tweeted this out. So, okay, so again, if I go back a slide here, we are starting to offer a lot more of these first 2-year courses here at the Citadel. All of the math classes are being taught asynchronously online over the summer. A lot of them are online at Trident Tech as well. A lot of them are in person at TriNet Tech, but we're starting to get a lot more of these first 2-year classes brought here to the Citadel. And there's advantages and disadvantages to each of those. And when we meet face to face, we can talk about that. But generally, the way this is divvied up is that the second half of the curriculum is at the Citadel, and the first half is elsewhere. So it generally starts the summer between your second and third years. And Dr. Davila-Montero mentioned that we are teaching the circuit sequence, and that is one of the critical pathways through our program. So almost anybody that is watching this, by the time you come through, you will need to take that circuit sequence the summer between your second and third years. And you'll do that here over the summer at the Citadel. And then you'll do your third and fourth years here as well. One of the big things that I always emphasize, because this isn't always true at a lot of the feeder schools, is if it is a required course, we will always offer it on schedule. You don't have to worry about it filling up. You don't have to worry about it not filling up and us canceling the class. And so we will make sure that if you want to get your last 2 years here done in 2 years, that you will have the courses necessary to do that. That being said, if you want to spread that out over 3 years or even 4 years or even longer, we've had several students that have come and they're raising a family and they're working full time, and then they're doing school in the evening, and they're like, I can only come 2 nights a week, and that's fine. We work one-on-one with the students to make sure that we can get you through that without any problem. The classes are 4 nights a week. We've essentially got 4 time slots. We've got a Monday, Wednesday early time slot, which is 5:15 to 6:30, a Tuesday, Thursday early time slot, also 5:15 to 6:30. And then on each one of those pairs of days, we've got a late time slot from 6:45 to 8. There will be a lab 1 night per week in addition to that. And all of the courses in the evening are identical to those taught in the day program. SCCC there is the South Carolina Corps of Cadets. So all of the professors here in the department have committed themselves to teaching a course during the day, and then they will usually turn around and teach that exact same course in the evening to our evening students. So there is no difference between the course content. All that's different is we'll be wearing civilian clothes instead of uniforms, and it'll be dark outside instead of light outside. And all of our fall and spring classes are in person. So I don't think we've got any exceptions to that, but that's something that we really believe in, is that in-person experience as well. So, and then this is the last 2 years. And again, all of this is available on the website. I'm not going to go through this in a tremendous amount of detail. These in the red or in the kind of peach color here are the courses that you take over the summer. And then you'll see that there are essentially, this is one online kind of introduction to the Citadel class that you've got. And then you'll see that you've got 4 3-credit-hour classes every semester. So 1, 2, 3, 4 there, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 4 here, and 4 here. This is for electrical engineering and then computer engineering, and there's just a few little differences between these. Not much at all, though. And again, some of this, we will usually offer one of these senior electives over the summer, so you can kind of pull some stuff forward. So there's some flexibility you've got with this, but it's not a program with a ton of flexibility of, oh, I need to take this during the day or during, this. It's usually just these time slots in the evening. So. Okay, and now I am going to hand it back to Dr. Davila-Montero to talk about these last 2 classes, because this is something really special to our program, and Dr. Davila-Montero has done a fantastic job with making this a really exciting course. This is our capstone senior design course, and this is the culmination of basically everything you've learned. So I'm going to hand it over to her, and I will drive the slides.
Yes. So as Dr. McKinney said, right, this is our culminating class, and the idea is that you're going to pull together all the knowledge that you have been getting through all the classes, and we're gonna take it all and use it in here in order to create something. So create a product. So you can click. The idea is that you're going to experience what teamwork is. You're going to go through some dynamics in order to better understand your teammates, right? Build that relationship. You're going to have the opportunity to work on real world problems. You're going to work with a real customer as well. And here we have an example of one of the last projects that we have. So a group of students were working in a project with the Charleston Area Motor Railroad Club, and that's located at the Citadel Mall. And they were adding technology to a railroad model that they had in there. And this was their idea. They had the idea of working with this customer, so we evaluated it and then approved it. And we had similar projects like this one where students were working with real customers. You can go ahead. Good. You're going to start by sharing your initial project ideas with the community. So this is an essential part of being an engineer. You design for other people, so you have to communicate, right, what your ideas are, what your plans are, and you get to experience that during this class. You're going to be also developing a product by receiving direct mentorship. And you're going to be working with pretty much all of us in the department. If I'm the one, right, teaching the class, I'm going to be your primary point of contact, and I'm always going to be with you. We meet 5 hours a week in person, and I'm going to be with you those 5 hours, answering questions, trying to see how we can solve problems together. But you will also have the opportunity to receive mentorship from all the faculty in the department. And then you're going to be working on this product for, right, pretty much an entire year. So you start in the fall semester, and then you finish this product in the spring semester, and at the end you will disseminate, right, your final results. So you're going to present what your final product looks like. You can click again. And these are just pictures of our most recent symposium, and this is where all the senior design students, they show their products, they present it to the community. The community has the opportunity to also interact with the project and the product and talk to the students and see what they did. So it's a really neat experience because you get to really start from the very beginning, working with a team, planning a project, right, working on it, implementing it, designing it, and then presenting, right, to the community what you did.
Dr. Davila, will you highlight just a couple of the projects that they've had over recent years? Because I can throw some kind of cool ideas out there that for some as well. But
yeah, so in this very slide we have in the first picture, that was a 3-phase power model for the Coast Guard Navy vessels. And one of their client wanted a model that he could use to teach his employees, right, how to do the correct connections for power to the vessels. And so he worked with the students, and the student created exactly what happens in real life, but at a smaller scale, so he could use that to teach his employees. And then the second picture is an inventory management system. So this one is a little bit more software based. So when you work with projects, right, you're going to have projects that are more tangible, right, more hardware based. But there are other ones that may be a little bit more software based. You have, right, projects that have a combination of both. So this one in the middle was an inventory management system. We were the clients, or our department was the client. And the idea was that we wanted to track how the equipment was moving through the building, right? So coming in and out of different labs that we have. So we wanted to make sure that we were following where the equipment was going every time somebody was taking it from one place and then taking it to another one. So those are two of the examples, but we have had games. We have a shuffleboard game that was worked this last year. And
we've had like self-scoring cornhole games and yeah, so we've had all sorts of interesting. We've had vital statistic monitoring bulletproof vests as well. So we've had some really interesting projects. Students, it's a lot of work, but the students really enjoy digging in on one project in depth. So good. Okay, let's switch gears here and let's talk about the master's program. Our master's program is a master's in electrical engineering. And it is 10 courses, and 6 of those courses are within the electrical engineering department, and 4 of those courses can stay within the electrical engineering department, but oftentimes students choose to take a non-technical elective for those 4 elective courses. So it's 30 hours, which is typical for most master's programs. 2 of those courses can be transferred from another institution. If you are doing some graduate work at Clemson, we do have an agreement with Clemson to allow for more than just the 2 courses. This is typically what I would call a professional master's degree, which means it's a non-thesis based master's program. If, however, you want to do something in conjunction with one of our professors as a master's thesis, you can actually replace 2 of those 6 core classes with a thesis course. And that would be some partnership between you and one of the professors here to do that. So these are also usually associated, a lot of these 6 core classes are associated with our senior level electives. We'll do what are called cross-leveled classes, where it is a senior level elective and a master's class that are co-taught together. And that works really well. And one of the really neat things about this program is those 4 electives, you can use those 4 electives to take our technical project management core courses. Those certify you to take the PMP exam. We've so far got 100% pass rate on the PMP exam. So it's actually really this great program where you get your master's in electrical engineering, and then with those elective courses, you can get your PMP certification as well. And anybody that's in any kind of business knows the importance of getting that project management certification along with a master's degree. The courses are offered on the same schedule as the CTP classes, so it's that Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, early and late time slot. And as I mentioned, a lot of those courses are cross-leveled with senior electrical engineering courses. We offer all of our MSEE programs in what we call a high flex modality. I call it a rear end in a seat or a face on a screen modality, which means that you can zoom into the class, but it is taken at the same time. So it's not an asynchronous online, but it's a synchronous online option that you can do. So you can attend in person or you can attend remotely. And you can ask more questions about that if you want. And the ELPM courses are all online courses as well. So in all of these just like our undergraduate courses, all of the master's courses are taught by PhDs in electrical engineering. It is a broad-based master's, so it's the subject matter is going to be fairly broad. So you will probably end up getting a communications class and maybe a signal processing class and maybe a computer architecture class, and an AI class. And so it's going to be fairly broad-based. So it's not going to be like a lot of research institutions where it's going to be really focused on one particular topic. If you wanted to do a thesis option, you could focus on that one topic if you did a thesis option as well. We do have an accelerated master's program for outstanding undergraduate students in can ask more questions about that as we go along. So further resources. You can contact me, and there's my email address. You can also go to the website. I believe you can get Dr. Davila-Montero's email address on the website as well. Ms. Giordano is our admin for the department, and she's a great resource for being able to ask questions as well. Some links here, which I suspect the folks from our CGC group are going to also tell you about. This is the webpage for the department right here, and then the schedule of courses. And we've got a ton of departments on campus that are standing by here to help you. We've got the CGC, and this is again where it gets a little bit confusing because our college transfer program is structurally underneath the CGC group as well. So a lot of times you'll see stuff specific to the undergraduate transfer program that comes from the Citadel Graduate College, and that's because those are all housed in the same group. And then financial aid, admissions registrar, Citadel Veterans Center. So again, tons and tons of resources available, no matter what your background is. Okay, so I am going to stop sharing, and we'll turn this over for any questions.
Yeah, if anybody in the meeting right now has any questions, drop them in either the chat or the Q&A section. One of the questions I had was, can you apply for a master's degree in this field if your bachelor's degree is not in the field of engineering?
So that is an excellent question, and the answer is sometimes. So it really depends on what your background is. If somebody comes in with a non-technical degree, has never had any calculus classes, has never had any physics classes or anything like that, it's going to be really tricky. And you're not going to get a ton of people that are applying to a master's in electrical engineering with that background. If, however, you're coming from a physics degree or you're coming from a mechanical engineering undergraduate degree, there may be a course or two that we're going to look at together when we put together a plan and say, all right, I'm going to get you to take a few undergraduate courses first, and that will prepare you for the rest of this. So if you're coming from a technical major, then the answer is yes. Where it gets into a little bit of a gray area is if you are coming from essentially like a 2-year associate's degree, a non-calculus based technician type degree. That's where it gets a little trickier, and that's where we run into some accreditation issues. And a lot of times we can work around that, but it's going to be a little larger group of courses that you might have to take as some background material. So, good question.
What are some qualities that you typically look for in your applicants?
Oh, qualities that we look for in our applicants. Really, probably the biggest two are curiosity and critical thinking. Are the two biggest things that we look for in our applicants. Is we want to see somebody that's going into engineering is usually going to self-select and be just a curious critical thinker anyway. Really anybody going to graduate school or into the 2+2 program is going to have that as a background. But yeah, it's I'm tempted to say something along the lines of having really good time management skills and things like that. And that is true. These courses are a lot of times in the evening, and I am completely blown away at the dedication that so many of our evening students have, where they are, again, I mentioned it earlier, where they are working full-time jobs. They're working 40 hours a week. They've got a family, with small kids at home, and they're coming 4 nights a week and doing this program. And that kind of dedication inspires us as professors. And but I've also had to tell students, hey, we're going to be here. If these other obligations, which are valid obligations, dominate, then slow down, take a few fewer classes, and let's spread this out over time. And that's totally fine. And that's one of, again, the thing about a place like this is we're going to work with you on that. And we're going to see you as is not just, I always joke with my students, I'm like, we don't just, chew up students and spit out degrees. We actually work with you and see you as a human being with a life, and are going to work with you and make sure that we want you to be successful in this. So really that I don't know if you want to call it grit, but that has to be there as well. Dr. Davila-Montero, do you want to add anything to that?
Nope, I agree to it. And I agree with the time management, quality. And yeah, I can see it in senior design because it's probably one of the classes where they spend the most time here. And then they also need to spend even more time than outside.
Yeah.
And it is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, the thing about senior design is it's a very open-ended,
Mhm.
it's not, oh, I have these 14 homework problems to do by Thursday. It's this open-ended, oh, I have to have a working product 4 months from now, So
Yeah.
it's a different animal. Yeah. Good.
Perfect, thank you. And then what are some, if there's any, common misconceptions that people have about the electrical or computer engineering field?
What would some comment? I think probably, um, and Dr. Davila-Montero may disagree with me on this one. Um, uh, you don't have to be a math wizard to get through it. You don't, everybody thinks, oh gosh, the math, you have to be able to get through the math. You have to be able to do the math. That's part of our curriculum. It incorporates itself into a lot of what we do. A lot of what we do is theoretical in nature. But that being said, uh, the practicing engineer, if you ask them what are the skills that you're looking for and what are the skills that you've carried forward, um, those aren't the ones. It's all the other stuff. It's all the critical thinking. It's all the being able to think your way through problems and problem solve and things like that. So probably the biggest misconception is that you just have to be this math genius in order to be able to get through this degree. And it's just, to me, that's just not true. The other one is we're not electricians. My dad calls me all the time and it's like, I've got this wire and this wire, coming out of this outlet. And what do I? And I'm like, I am not an electrician. So did you want to add anything to that?
Yes, I mean, I don't disagree with you on the first one. I don't know why you would say that. Uh, I would add that sometimes students may think that those general education classes are not going to serve them as much for an engineering degree. But I see all the time in senior design how those general education classes, like your English classes and then your writing classes, how those ones, right, serve a lot to being an engineer and to be a good communicator. Because as Dr. McKinney said, sometimes, right, those like critical thinking skills, those time management skills tend to be right essential. And together with that, right, that communication skills, those are also part of what a lot of employees and look at.
Yeah, and I'll kind of follow up on that is that we've got the background of the students we have in both our master's program and our CTP program is really pretty staggering. I've got students who have math degree or I'm sorry, music degrees, that went and got a music degree and then went back uh, to Trident Tech and knocked out. They had a lot of their Englishes and humanities classes, obviously, but then went and got the math classes and the physics classes and spent about a year doing that, and then came here and are fantastic students. And so anybody that's out there that goes, oh gosh, I could never do an electrical engineering degree. Yeah, you could. You could.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was very helpful information. I know that a lot of our prospective students wonder those sorts of things, but may not know who to ask, where to ask, if they can ask. So we appreciate you guys being here today, taking some time. Does anybody else have any questions before we move on to some general housekeeping things? Perfect. So after, learning some more about the program, what you're going to want to do if you haven't already is go ahead and submit your application. That can be done on our website. There's lots of different places to access the application, as well as the QR code that's on the screen. If you go ahead and use the code GODOGS in the waiver box on the certifications page of the application, it'll waive the application fee for you, so you don't have to pay anything today to apply. And then after you complete the application, which usually takes about 5 minutes, you're going to want to upload any supplemental items after your application has been processed. For our undergraduate programs, this is typically just your ID and order any official transcripts to be sent to us. And for our graduate program, this is typically the ID, the transcripts again, and 2 letters of recommendation. For the timeline, allow, again, 1 to 2 business days to process any submitted applications. Usually it's quicker than that, but technology sometimes gets a little crazy. And then you'll want to request your transcripts from the institution sent directly to us. We will get them, upload them to your file. You'll see that reflected on your status page of your application. Electronically is usually the best and the quickest, but if they're mailed, it can take up to 2 weeks for us to get those in and get them processed. After everything is complete, typically you'll get a decision within 5 to 10 business days. If you have any questions, definitely contact us. Your decision will be sent via email and posted to your student or to your status portal, so you won't have to worry about missing that. It should come in multiple different places. And again, if you have any questions, contact us, contact your enrollment coordinator. That information will be on your status page as well. We're here to help if you have any questions, have any concerns, and we're excited to have you here.